So here we are at the homepage of sportandfit.com, and what I wanted to do in this video was just take a moment to show you how to make changes to the page content. And then in the next couple of videos, we're going to go over how the menu is configured and how also to configure widgets that are over here on the sidebar. So on the homepage, there really isn't any content to change, as this content is automatically generated by the system. But if we come over to blog, and blog is basically just kind of an index page. You'll notice that we have some pictures and we have some text and stuff over here. And I've got a couple of things here. I've got edit page and edit with Visual Composer. Now, if I click on edit page, that's going to take me into WordPress's default page editor, and it's going to have the Visual Composer already up back here, so I can go ahead and take a look. Oops, sorry, let me get that out of there. Go ahead and take a look here at the Visual Composer. I'm going to go ahead and pull that down. If you see that, feel free to pull that down. These are just SEO settings. You can just pull that down and collapse that, or if you like, if the SEO settings are bothering you, you can come over here to Screen Options, pull that down, and completely get rid of them right here. But up at the top, what you're going to want to see here is the Visual Composer, and it's giving you a visual representation of the page. Very easy, as you can see, to go ahead and come in here and click on the edit icon, and then it's going to bring up the edit screen where you're able to change images right here, or you're able to get rid of that image and change it and stuff. This is indeed very, very easy to use, but this system uses something else, as a matter of fact, that is even much easier to use. This system uses what is known as the front-end Visual Composer, and that's what I'm going to show you how to use in here. There's a back-end interface to the Visual Composer, which I just showed you, but here's the front-end interface, and it's much easier to use, and it gives you a much better idea of what you're doing. I'm going to go ahead and click on Edit with Visual Composer, and you're going to see this is going to pop up for a minute, and then it's going to show you, see, still the same page. I'm not in that old clunky WordPress interface. I'm still on the same page, and as I scroll down, I hover over an area, and I get these selections coming up. Allows me to change column width and do all these things, but what I'm really interested in here is how do I change stuff, for instance, like the text here, how do I change the image here, how do I do that? Well, once again, that's still with the edit. Remember that when you're hovering over here and you're getting a box, one thing you are going to want to remember though is this is for the row and this is for the column. Okay, the row is the entire row. Just be aware of that. Okay, the column, though, is just this column if you want to move it. That's what these allow you to do. These allow you to drag and drop either the row. So you see I could actually pull down and put training underneath here and have nutrition up top, but I don't want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and take the entire row and pull it back up here and put it where I want it. But if I wanted to switch these two, though, I would just grab the column and come over here and now switch these two, and these two would switch around. So you see, I can rearrange by row or column, and I can drag and drop things all over the page the way I want them. But what do I do if I want to go ahead and change out this image right here? Well, you've got three icons over here. You're going to have edit single image, you're going to have clone single image, and you're going to have delete single image. And these are going to change for each one. For instance, over here I've got a text box, and here I can edit the text box, I can clone the text box, or I can delete the text box. And this is just what it sounds like, editing, cloning, and deleting. If I click clone, okay, I get an exact duplicate right down below of this image. I don't want that, of course, so I'm going to go ahead and click delete, and it's going to go ahead and delete that. If I wanted to have an exact duplicate of training right below here, I could clone that. It's going to go ahead and place it there. I don't want that there, though. So I'm going to delete. That's what cloning does. Cloning just creates an exact identical block there, and this is very useful. For instance, we have in this block right here, we have this text tagged with certain CSS rules that make it responsive, that allow it to change and allow it to adapt for any screen size. So if you wanted to create another one of these, for instance, if you wanted to add another section to your blog, to do that, it would be much easier to actually clone this and then just come in and change the name. It would be much, much easier to do that. And then all of that stuff, all of those CSS rules, all those classes and everything that's applied to this is just going to copy over. So that's the advantage to cloning. But what if you just want to edit? Like right here, for instance, obviously this is just a placeholder image, so you're going to want to go ahead and edit and remove that image later. So you click on Edit Single Image, and over here it's going to pop up this editing screen. Same editing screen that we see in the back. It's just popped it up out here in the front. And now I can click X if I want to, and that will get rid of that image. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on this, and this is going to take me first to the media library. Okay, and then if I want, I can just come over here and select files and go to my computer and download those files, whatever file that I want, and then it will go ahead and upload it and set the image. And if I already have it uploaded to the media library, I can just select that image and then click Set Image, and it's going to go ahead and set that image. And then there's some other selectors down here. Because the images are all responsive in the system, you'll want to make sure that the image size is full. Okay. When you're editing an image, if this is empty, you can type in full. It will default to the thumbnail size when creating an image. So the only thing about the image that you're going to need to make sure that you do is when you come under here to image size, is just go ahead and make it full. If for some reason you don't and it looks funny, after you put the image in, just come in here and open this up and just check and make sure that image size is specified to full. In this system, images will automatically be regenerated or automatically be resized by the Bootstrap framework. So as I'm scrolling down here, I've got image alignment. I've aligned it to the center, but I have some selections there. I could align it to the left or the right. I've given it a bordered shadow, which means around the shadow there's just a bare hint of a border. It is a link, and it's linking to a specific page. I've put that link in there. And the link is just what we copied directly from here from the URL. And that means that when people hover over it, they're going to get a link, and when they click on that, it's going to go to that page. I'm having it open in the same window, but I could have it open in a new window if I wanted to, which means that when people click on that, it's going to open up here in a new window as opposed to staying right here in the same tab and going to the next link. So that's what that's for. Extra class name is just to apply extra CSS rules. If you're a developer or you write CSS, you can apply a class name to this element and then style it from CSS from there. That's what that's for. Once I'm done, I go ahead and click Save Changes. Say Single Image Saved. Go ahead and close that. And then once I've got all that done, I need to come up here, no matter what I've done. Once I've made these changes, these aren't actually complete yet. Once you've made your changes, you need to come up here and click Update. And then once you've done that, once you see this over here is done with its spinning, that means that the page has been updated, and you can click out of this, and it will close the visual editor and bring you back to the page. So very, very simple to change content in a page. Like for instance, I'm going to come over here to the Train with Alicia page. And I see perhaps I wanted to change some of the content in here. I'm going to click Edit with Visual Composer. It's going to bring up the front-end Visual Composer editor. I'm going to hover over the area that I want to edit, and it's going to bring up my choices. I'm going to click here on Edit Text Box, and it's going to bring up my editor right here, where I'm able now to edit this content directly using a nice WYSIWYG editor like what we see in Microsoft Word and other word processing programs. Very, very similar. You're going to see you have able to bold and italicize text, create lists both numbered and bulleted, block quotes, add a horizontal line, which is this little horizontal rule you see right here, align text as well as justify text, underline text, change them from paragraphs to headings. All of this you're able to do, and you don't have to worry about writing any code. All of the code is getting written behind the scenes here. And this, if you want to, you can come in here and edit the code, but all the code is getting written behind the scenes here. I don't want to edit this. I don't want to change anything, so I'm just going to go ahead and click Close. I'm not going to save the changes. If I wanted to save the changes, remember, once you're done, you need to click Update, but I don't need to save those changes, so I'm just going to go ahead and click X, and that's going to take me out of the Visual Composer and put me right back into the front of the site. Now, do be aware that I am logged into WordPress. So I am logged into the WordPress administrative interface here. And that's the reason that I do have the WordPress toolbar out here, but also that I am able to edit with the Visual Composer. So do be aware that people just can't come onto your site and edit the site at all. They must be logged in as an administrator to have access to edit the site with the Visual Composer. So portions of the site aren't editable with the Visual Composer, such as any of the subpages here here under blog. The home page, there's no page content to edit with the Visual Composer because it's already compiled. But all the other pages have content that can be edited with the Visual Composer, and they're all compiled. And when the pages were built, they were all built using the Visual Composer. So you have consistency throughout the entire site. There aren't some pages that are built regularly and then other ones that are built with the Visual Composer. We built them all with the Visual Composer so that every element in there can be edited with the Visual Composer. So anyhow, that is how you make content, how you make changes to the content of your pages.